Joining us now is Conservative MP for Lichfield, Michael Fabricant. Michael, are you still supporting your Prime Minister?
I am, Alex. Perhaps because he has got blonde hair. I heard that bit of criticism earlier.
Oh, there's no criticism from a fellow blonde. Don't you worry about that. And mine is, a little bit enabled by the bottle, I'm not going to lie. But he is facing a tough time, isn't he? I mean, there's been a succession now of scandals, peccadillos, U-turns, fibs to Parliament. And now it seems the murmurings of the backbench rebels, the ones who really put him in power and got him to the throne to get Brexit done, is that going to lead to a vote of no confidence?
Well, let me tell you about an experience I had this morning, because it's going to be repeated up and down the country with constituency MPs. I had a wander around Lichfield, had to go in this morning, and I immediately met one guy in the close, the Cathedral Close, and he said to me, "You've got to get rid of that clown Boris." He said, no one's going to vote for you, Michael, if you don't get rid of Boris. And then I saw three different people during the course of my wandering around trying to pull some money out of a cash point machine, all of whom said, "You've got to hang on to Boris because the drip, drip, drip is so artificial. It is so mechanical. All these exposés of so-called parties and whatever. There's obviously somebody or some people who are doing it deliberately." And the point that I would make at the moment is, look what's going on as well. And that is, we've got the strongest economy of any large city, of any large country in Europe. And we've also got by far the very best vaccine program in Europe. In fact, some European countries don't even have a booster program. And I want to take this opportunity, by the way, to say to all your viewers, for God's sake, get out there and get a booster.
But, you're talking about the fact that there are people in the shadows sharpening their knives. And it occurs to me that, well, he's clearly not running a very tight ship, giving all of the leaks that keep coming out. And that, to me, suggests a lack of leadership. Is he the right man to be in this position, the most important job in the land?
Well, because, it needs imagination, it needs boldness, and that's what he's got. And look, would Keir Starmer be doing any better? Do you think the people aren't there at the moment, sharpening their knives, waiting for Keir Starmer to stumble? And, this is an unprecedented pandemic. I mean, none of us remember anything like it in our lifetime. I mean, I guess the last time we had anything like this was the great flu epidemic after the First World War 100 years ago. And I truly believe that any prime minister would be having problems at the moment, simply because, as you quite rightly said in your monologue to begin with, the Conservative Party is the party of freedom, of liberty, and yet we're having to sort of put down certain conditions in order to protect the vast majority of the population.
Do you think that this is very much a media confected thing going on, this sort of constant Boris bashing, as his fans like to call it? Or do you think that there are things that need to change to make sure that Number 10 is being run professionally and by adults?
Well, I think there's two aspects to this. I mean, I used to work in the media, and if I was being fed photographs and bits of information, of course I'd publish it. I'm not going to not publish it. So I'm not blaming the media. I'm blaming the people who are leaking all this. And I would say the events in themselves, are not necessarily breaking the law anyway. And we've heard all the reasons why. And I'm not going to bore you. However, I will say that while I think Boris is very much in charge, I do wonder sometimes whether all the people at Number 10 are as adult, if you like, as they should be. Maybe they are, maybe they are. And that's something I hope that Boris will be thinking of very carefully, particularly after Lord Frost and his resignation.